My husband didn't invite his parents to our wedding, but my in-laws showed up anyway. My mother-in-law yelled at me, calling me names and insulting my family. I felt humiliated and asked her to stop. In her anger, she grabbed my hair and yanked me to the ground. Everyone was shocked. My husband stepped in, pulled her away, and told her to leave. I decided to get back at her with the help of my friend, and the next day, I surprised them in a big way. My name is Anna Walker, and this is my life story, filled with love, betrayal, and standing up for myself. I'm 29 years old and studying law, but not too long ago, I worked as a dishwasher at a diner in Seattle. I never expected to find love in such a regular place, but that's exactly where it all started. One rainy afternoon, Ethan Brooks walked into the diner for the first time. I was busy washing dishes, but when I stepped out to refill coffee, I saw him. Ethan was tall with dark hair and a smile that made the day feel brighter. I felt something strange in my chest, like a flutter. "Can I get you anything?" I asked, trying to sound professional, though my voice shook a little. "Just coffee, black, please," he said, looking at me. "And maybe your number, if you're not too busy." I laughed, feeling shy. "Sorry, I don't give my number to customers. It's company policy." "Then I'll just have to come in every day until you change your mind," he said with a smile. And that's exactly what he did. He came in every day for 2 weeks, starting with just coffee and small talk. He was charming, asking about my life, and I started looking forward to our chats. There was something special about him that made me feel important. Finally, after 2 weeks, I agreed to go on a date with him. "Okay," I said, trying to sound casual. "One date, but don't get your hopes up, Mr. Brooks." That one date turned into 6 months of happiness. We spent a lot of time laughing, eating takeout, walking by the water, and dreaming about the future. Ethan was different from anyone I had met. He saw me for who I was, not just my job as a dishwasher. But as we got closer, I began to worry about meeting his family. Ethan came from a wealthy background, and I was afraid his parents might look down on me because of my job and my modest background. What if they don't like me? I asked him one night as we sat on the couch, watching the rain. "They'll love you. They just need to get to know you," he reassured me, though I could see a bit of doubt in his eyes. One evening, right after our 6-month anniversary, Ethan surprised me with a proposal. He took me to our favorite spot by the water, where the moonlight shimmered on the surface. "Anna," Ethan said, his voice filled with emotion, "will you marry me?" I couldn't speak, tears filled my eyes as I nodded. "Yes. 1,000 times, yes." We started planning our wedding, but I was nervous about meeting his parents, Henry and Catherine Brooks. I knew they were successful business owners, but I wasn't sure how they would see me. Finally, the day came to meet them. We went to a fancy restaurant, and I immediately felt out of place. The Brooks family was everything I wasn't: rich, polished, and powerful. Henry looked serious, and Catherine stared at me like I was being judged. "Ethan says you're a dishwasher," Catherine said, her voice sounding superior. "Yes," I answered, standing tall. "I work at a diner while I finish my law degree." "A law degree?" Henry said, mocking me. "That's ambitious for someone like you." I could feel my heart racing. "I'm determined to make something of myself," I replied, trying to stay confident. The rest of the dinner was full of thinly veiled insults, and I could tell they didn't like me. Afterward, I whispered to Ethan, "They don't like me. It doesn't matter. I love you, Anna, that's all that matters," he said, but I could tell he was tense. As the wedding approached, we decided to keep it small, just close friends, no family. I felt relieved, but also worried about what might happen if his parents found out. On the wedding day, as I was about to walk down the aisle, the doors slammed open. There stood Henry and Catherine, looking furious. "What are you doing?" Henry shouted, making everyone stop. Catherine stepped forward, her voice cold. "You can't marry her, Ethan. She's just after your money. Look at her." I felt embarrassed and tried to stay calm. "Please, let us have our day," I asked. But Catherine didn't stop. "You think she can make you happy? She'll just bring you down." I felt tears in my eyes and tried to speak up, but before I could say anything, Catherine grabbed my hair and yanked me to the ground. Everyone gasped in shock. Ethan rushed forward, fury in his eyes. "Get away from her," he yelled, pulling his mom back. "You have no right to treat her like this." At that moment, I realized how bad things had gotten. My wedding day, which was supposed to be a happy occasion, had turned into a nightmare. Henry and Catherine stormed out, leaving everyone in shock. I felt a mix of anger and sadness. The wedding was ruined, but I wasn't going to let them have the last word. I was done letting their insults affect me. I was going to stand up for myself and show them that I was more than just a dishwasher. After my wedding day disaster, I was determined to get my dignity back, no matter what it took. Everything felt broken, and while Ethan and I tried to work through it, I could sense a change in him. The embarrassment of what happened still hung between us. That night when we got home, I saw the worry on Ethan's face. "I'm so sorry, Anna. I never thought they'd show up like that," he said. "It's not your fault," I replied, though I still felt humiliated. "But I can't just forget what happened. They think I'm nothing because of my job and where I come from." Ethan took my hands, looking serious. "You're so much more than that. I love you for who you are, not what you do. We'll figure this out together." Even though Ethan reassured me, I couldn't shake the anger inside. I had been humiliated in front of everyone. I needed to do something, to make them pay for treating me that way. After the wedding, I reached out to Mason Grant, an old friend from law school. He had always supported my goals, and I knew he'd understand what I was feeling. "Anna, it's been too long," Mason said when we met up. "What's going on? You look like you've been through a lot." I took a deep breath. "Mason, I need your help. Ethan's parents embarrassed me at our wedding. I want to expose their lies. I want to show everyone who they really are." He looked curious. "What do you have in mind?" I explained my plan to investigate Ethan's parents' import-export business. I had heard rumors about illegal activities, and I wanted proof. "I want to show the world that their wealth comes from shady deals," I said. Mason agreed to help, and for weeks, we dug into the Brooks family's business. I spent evenings researching while Mason made industry connections. We found that their business wasn't as clean as they claimed, and rumors about tax fraud and unregistered exports seemed true. One day, Mason found a key piece of information. "Anna, look at this," he said, showing me his laptop. "They're under investigation for tax fraud. If we gather enough evidence, we could take them down." I felt a mix of excitement and fear. "This is it, Mason. We need to dig deeper." As we worked, I started to feel stronger. I was no longer just a dishwasher, I was determined to stand up for myself and fight back. Each new piece of evidence made me more confident. Meanwhile, Ethan was supportive, but worried. "Anna, I love your passion, but are you sure you want to do this? It could backfire," he warned. "I have to do this, Ethan. I can't let them get away with treating me like this," I said, my voice steady. He nodded, but I could tell he was concerned. "Just be careful. I don't want to lose you." We spent months building our case. I went over documents, looked at financial records, and even spoke to former employees who had left under strange circumstances. Every new piece of information made me more determined. I felt like I was preparing for a battle. But then Mason called me one night, sounding anxious. "Anna, I heard some bad news. The Brooks family knows someone's investigating them. They won't let this slide." I felt a rush of fear. "What do you mean?" "They've been looking for information about you. They might try to intimidate you," he warned. I refused to back down. "Let them come. I'm not scared." As the days passed, I realized this fight was bigger than revenge. It was about proving my worth, standing up for myself, and showing the world that I wouldn't be a victim anymore. I had gone from a dishwasher to a woman ready to take on powerful people. With Ethan by my side, I felt ready for whatever came next. But I knew we were entering dangerous territory. The Brooks family was powerful, and I was just one woman with a dream. The confrontation ahead would change everything. "Anna, are you sure you're ready for this?" Mason asked as we sat in my tiny apartment, papers scattered across the table like pieces of a puzzle. "I have to be," I said firmly. "I can't let them keep ruining lives with their illegal business. It's time to show everyone the truth about them." Mason nodded, though he looked worried. "All right, but once we go public, there's no turning back. We need to be prepared for anything." With our plan in place, we decided to take our findings to a local news station known for uncovering big scandals. We met with Samantha Reed, a sharp and fearless journalist. Sitting in a small meeting room with her, I felt both nervous and excited. "Start from the beginning," Samantha said, her pen ready to take notes. I told her everything, the humiliation at my wedding, how Ethan's family looked down on me, and the shady things we had uncovered about their business. I showed her all the evidence we had gathered, financial records, interviews with former employees, and the hours of research Mason and I had done. Samantha listened carefully, her expression growing serious. "This is huge," she said. "If this checks out, I'll help you expose them. We'll put together a detailed report and show the world what they've been hiding." For the first time since the wedding disaster, I felt powerful. With Samantha's help, we had a real chance to take them down, not just for me but for anyone else they'd hurt with their lies and corruption. In the weeks that followed, we worked non-stop with the news team. But the closer we got to revealing the story, the more the Brooks family pushed back. I started seeing online posts accusing me of being a gold digger, clearly part of their plan to make me look bad. "Anna, they're trying to ruin your reputation," Mason said one day, scrolling through social media. "We need to be ready for this." I don't care what they say about me, I replied, holding my ground. This isn't just about me anymore. It's about standing up to people like them who think they can do whatever they want. Finally, the day came for the report to air. I sat in my living room, my heart pounding as I watched the screen. Samantha appeared, calm and professional. Tonight, we reveal the hidden secrets of a powerful local family accused of illegal business practices, she began. My stomach flipped as I saw the evidence we'd worked so hard to gather being shared on screen. It was finally happening, the truth was coming out for everyone to see. I felt both proud and scared. This was the moment we were exposing the Brooks family's dark secrets. But just as I thought I was ready for anything, my phone rang. It was Ethan. Anna, you need to come home right now. It's urgent, he said, his voice tense. What's wrong? I asked, panic rising. Just hurry, he replied. I rushed home, my heart pounding. When I walked in, Ethan was pacing, looking pale and worried. It's my parents, he said. They know about the report. They're furious, and they've been watching you. Before I could respond, a loud knock came at the door. My chest tightened as I exchanged a nervous glance with Ethan. Who is it? I called out. It's the police, a voice replied. We need to talk to you. My stomach dropped. The Brooks family wasn't going to let this go quietly. Bracing myself, I opened the door to find two serious-looking officers. Miss Walker, one said, we need to discuss allegations related to your investigation into the Brooks family. Ethan stepped forward, his voice firm. What allegations? He asked. We received a tip that you and your associate may have fabricated evidence against the Brooks family, the officer explained. I felt a surge of anger. That's not true. Everything we've found is real, and we have proof. The officer held up his hand. We're not accusing you yet. We just need to verify the claims. Can we see the evidence you've collected? Ethan looked at me, his face full of worry. They're trying to turn this on you, he said. They're scared. I took a deep breath, refusing to back down. They can try, but I have the truth on my side. We'll show them we're not afraid. Once the officers left, Ethan and I worked day and night to organize every piece of evidence we had, financial records, testimonies, and proof of the Brooks family's illegal activities. Meanwhile, threats poured in from anonymous accounts online, but I ignored them. I wasn't going to let fear win. When the police returned, we laid everything out for them. I walked them through each document, testimony, and detail we had gathered. My heart pounded as I spoke, but I stayed strong. I knew this was my chance to prove we were